This is JSA TV Live, the newsroom for telecom and data center professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming at you live, as the name might suggest, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Metro Connect 2023. And I'm here with my new best friend, Mr. Michael Donahue. Michael is the Managing Director of Business Development for Cumulus Data. Michael, welcome to JSA TV.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Yeah, you bet. And thank you for the amazing reception last night. It was a great party. You guys
we had a lot of fun last night.
You did a great job. The music was good. The food was good. The conversation was great. So thank you thank you very much for that. But for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Cumulus Data?
Absolutely, I would love to. Part of the reason why we had a big event last night was we're kind of like the new kids on the block. We're an energy company that's getting into the data center space. Mm-hmm. So we own Talent Energy is the parent company of Cumulus Energy, Cumulus Data, mm-hmm. and we own 20 power plants across the nation. And our flagship is our nuclear power plant, Susquehanna. And if we go back a few years ago, we were selling our product to a market that didn't want it anymore. And we looked 200 miles down to Northern Virginia, and we see everybody wanting our product. And so what we try to figure out is, well, how do we move our product to where everybody wants it? So we said, why don't we just go build a data center directly connected to our nuclear power plant, which is carbon-free, reliable, and extremely low cost. And so, a year and a half later, we're here. We energized the site 2 weeks ago, and we can't be more excited to, think about the rest of the year.
Yeah, I love it. And you and I kind of got into this a little bit last night. I was thinking that, we used to 10, 20 years ago, think about data centers as, space and power and things like that. But that power piece has really come back into the spotlight because with sustainable energy being a big focus, you can't really provide that power for the long term without thinking environmentally. And that's exactly what you folks are doing, and exactly what JSA has been talking about here now for many months, many years actually. But let's talk a little bit about sustainability and that energy. And you just energize. I love the word energize. You just energize your data center. But let's talk a little bit about that energy and as it relates to your sustainability efforts. What can you tell us about that?
For sure. So the data center industry in general, I think, has done a tremendous job at trying to be the point of the spear in driving the climate agenda across the world. Yeah. And everybody's gone out and put these ambitious targets to buy all these raw offsets and whatnot to offset the power usage in the data center. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a extremely noble first step. But what we found is that people are buying offsets from Texas to offset Virginia and in different places where their power really directly isn't. Yeah. And again, great first step, but we want to take it to the next level. And what we're trying to do is actually provide clean electrons directly into the data center. And so by putting our data center directly connected to our nuclear power facility, those are clean, carbon-free electrons powering our data center. We think of our solution not as if or then or binary, mm-hmm. but it's just the next step in the evolution of data centers. We think that we're going to be the first of a trend of people moving their load closer to where the generation is, mm-hmm. Closer to maybe where wind and power is, a lot closer to nuclear.
No, I love it. I mean, when we talk about the edge, often we're talking about putting that data center as close to kind of the end user, mm-hmm. kind of that data process. But we're also, with this model, we're getting it as close to the power source as humanly possible too.
Exactly.
There's efficiencies there as well. This to me feels like the future of data center power and sustainability within the industry. So
it definitely is. And I think that to give a little plug on nuclear, one of the things that people don't realize is that over the life cycle of the power generating facility, nuclear actually has the lowest greenhouse gases, mm-hmm. Lower than wind, lower than solar. We're building wind and solar. We love wind and solar. Yes. But I think we have to make sure that we help elevate all the pieces of the equation so that we can get to net zero as quick as possible. And that because these generating facilities, like so our nuclear facility had the life cycle is at least another 40 years. Mm-hmm. You have 40 years of clean power being produced, and we need to find a home for those electrons. And like, if we think about what is the best industry out there that wants to pay for those clean electrons that is
Mhm.
going to be around for the next 40 years. That's another key piece.
Yeah.
What industry is going to be around for the next 40 years? Data centers will definitely be.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about including nuclear power as part of your ESG plan? That
Yeah.
sounds like a really good idea to me.
For sure.
So speaking of the future, and I feel like we can talk, another 3 hours about this, but we don't have that kind of time. But speaking of the future, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what the future holds, or what you believe the future holds for Cumulus Data?
No, absolutely. So in 2023, I think our primary goal is to get a customer in the first building. We built a 48 megawatt shell, and we have the ability to scale up to about 1,000 megawatts on our campus. So we have to start small, get our customer in the first building, and then we'll think about expanding. Complete phase 1 and into phase 2 and 3.
I love it. And hopefully there's many, many phases for you and your future customers to come. So thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You got it. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. Welcome to JSA TV Live, and as the name might suggest, we are absolutely live and on location at 2023 Metro Connect in beautiful Fort Lauderdale. I almost said Fort Worth again. Fort Lauderdale. It's probably much nicer here in Fort Lauderdale than it is in Fort Worth, Florida, for Metro Connect 2023. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and with me right now, I have Mr. Bill Severn. Bill is the Executive Vice President of 1623 Farnham. Bill, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
You bet, you bet. So for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about 1623 Farnham?
Great. 1623 Farnham is the carrier hotel in Omaha, Nebraska. The designation when the fiber routes east and west and north-south in the United States were being built, they aggregated at 1623 Farnham.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the carrier neutral, 80,000 square feet, carrier neutral data center in Omaha.
Very cool. So now you have worked with JSA for a while.
Yes,
we know a bit about you. And one of the things that I hear a lot about you is that 1623 Farnham is the triple threat. Why don't you tell our viewers what exactly the triple threat is?
That's great. We've worked the last 4 years. We feel like building a rich ecosystem within the data center is the most important thing that we can do for clients in the region.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to network, our clients have the ability, we have 53 carriers in the building. So whether or not they need a low latency route
Mm-hmm.
to a location, where they need a low cost, or they need diversity for redundancy, they have that all there. And then number two is content. So as content needs to go closer to the edge, as over the top
Mm-hmm.
becomes a reality, customers can grab that content at 1623 Farnham instead of having to get that content on the east or west coast, reducing that latency.
Sure.
And then finally, from a cloud perspective, having the on-ramp for Google Cloud and also partners that can provide connections, whether it be to another data center in the United States, to a cloud operator, or to a location overseas. It's all right there for them. And what we've seen this year is our clients are connecting to 5 times more people in the building than they were just 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and we hear a lot of ecosystem is a very, very good buzzword because it's a reality. The bigger, the tighter the ecosystem, the easier it is to both sell and receive services, right?
Absolutely.
So speaking on the ecosystem tip, we talk a lot about peering and having those peering points within the data center. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about the peering there at 1623 Farnham and how it helps your customers?
Absolutely. We acquired the Omaha IX 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we've continued to try and build the ecosystem within it as well. And so an example, peering has become more critical to especially like the broadband providers and content providers in the last year. And so if you think about broadband as an example, there's never been more competition in the marketplace for broadband customers, right?
Yeah.
And so our broadband clients have the ability to peer at 1623 Farnham, and their customers can grab content right there, whether it be like NFL on Amazon on Thursday night, or recently what we saw was the new release of Call of Duty, and it was peered right there.
Gaming was a big
Yes.
topic for us yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. And so by peering the content there, there's less latency. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're playing a war game and you're shooting, the less latency wins, right? And so the customer has a better
It's big
experience.
business right now, isn't it? Yeah. No, very, very good. So sticking with the ecosystem, because I know that is a big selling point there at 1623. But we're talking about the cloud ecosystem.
Right.
We can't have a discussion about data centers without a discussion about the cloud. What can you tell our viewers a little bit about the cloud ecosystem there at 1623?
Yeah, we're really proud of that. We're the lowest latency connection to the Google public cloud in the United States. Because of our proximity to one of the regions.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have relationships with Megaport, Packet Fabric, and we just announced today at this show Console Connect within the building. So there again,
Congratulations.
we're expanding that ecosystem when it comes to cloud providers and options.
I love it. I love it. So finally, if for our viewers who want to maybe get to become a part of that ecosystem, where should they go?
They can either follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or follow us on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
We're very active on LinkedIn, and then 1623farnham.com.
Outstanding. Bill, thanks for being with us
Dean,
today.
thank you very much.
You bet. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV Live, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming at you, as the name might suggest, live from beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at Metro Connect 2023. And I am here with a relatively new executive, Mr. Dan Stahl. Dan is the president of commercial and carrier for Consolidated Communications. Dan, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you, Dean. Pleasure to be here.
You bet, you bet. So, Dan, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Consolidated Communications?
No, thank you, Dean. Consolidated Communications is a long-standing and fiber infrastructure, broadband, and telecommunications service provider that operates nationwide and focuses in over 23 markets and leverages its vast fiber network, which exists over 60,000 route miles of fiber, over 16,000 buildings to service, and servicing the consumer, the commercial, and the wholesale space.
Yeah, I think we'd be hard pressed to find somebody, especially somebody in the industry in the know, that hasn't heard of Consolidated Communications. Right. So some big things happening there at Consolidated, but also with
very exciting time.
It really is, yeah. But even more exciting perhaps for you. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your recently having joined Consolidated Communications and what you do, what your role is, and those kinds of things.
No, I have joined the company with over 22 years of experience within this industry, working primarily with fiber infrastructure companies, had opportunities to run multiple functions over all those years, worked with great teams and people, lead P&Ls, and really work with the business to identify how we can best capitalize and go to market to be able to service and cover all of our markets and provide great quality products and solutions for our customers.
Yeah, I love it. And the folks that I have spoken to at Consolidated were really excited about your joining the team. So, and I can see why. There's a nice history and a lot of experience.
There's a lot of passion for the business here and a passion for supporting customers and differentiating. So it's very exciting.
I love it, Dan. So speaking of that passion, let's talk a little bit about some fiber expansion passion that's going on over there at Consolidated. What can you tell us a little bit about that fiber expansion?
Yeah, it's a great program. It's underway, and it's set to over time be able to build over 1.6 million crossings or passings of addresses within our footprint.
Is that all?
That's over 70% of the market. When you think about the size of the market, the density of this market, that's a great amount of customers to pass, with the purpose of really delivering that quality connection for our customers, to be able to service not only consumers but move all the way up the stack from a broadband solution all the way up to 10 gig solutions and core backbone, as well as in between some of our markets. We've made some great upgrades in the network that can cover up to 400 gigs worth of transport, connecting a lot of those key middle mile routes. Yeah,
so they've got a big fiber expansion. What does that tell us about the market? What does that tell us about where Consolidate is going and where kind of just the overall telecommunications broadband market is headed?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you think about where things are going and what customers want. Customers are really looking to cover off on two things. One, quality. So the quality of the service now is paramount. You're using your connection to be able to connect to the cloud. You're using it to connect to the internet and connect applications. So the success of a business and being able to run and operate, as well as customers, as well as wholesale providers that are using our network, is really reliant and fully dependent on the quality of the service. The other thing that we continue to see over time is just in the quantity of bandwidth and the size of the pipe, in terms of it's about quality, it's about throughput, symmetrical service that's going to be reliable, so you can then stack those services and applications over the top. That we have a very robust portfolio to be able to tackle what customers need in consumer, the commercial, as well as the carrier space.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're going to be taking our foot off the gas in that regard anytime soon. With
1.6 million passings.
Yeah, and the proliferation of IoT devices and all of these things.
Right.
And one of the things that in my own home, I think on any given day I might have 30 to 50 IoT devices that are hitting the internet, and I think then 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like how businesses we used to get excited about, I guess it was more like 25 years ago, about a T1 connection. And now
Right.
there's like up to a gig coming to my home and things like that. So I feel like Consolidated is really kind of on the forefront of keeping the foot on the gas there.
Yeah,
So-
it's a solve where before it was about how much do you need, and now
Yeah.
it's how much can you provide,
Yeah.
because the demand for it is almost insatiable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what's going on over there at Consolidated. But why don't you tell our viewers what you are most excited about, having just recently joined the team?
Oh, I'm very excited about the culture, the long-standing history, and the community element that the business has, the Consolidated has in all the markets that we support. We're local. We have great teams of people.
Mhm.
We have great network that is in place today that we're going to continue to grow and expand. And we have a very robust product set. And you put that all together, those are the key ingredients to be able to differentiate, to have an advantage in this marketplace,
Yeah.
and be able to ultimately grow the business.
I love it. Dan, thanks for being with us on JSA TV today. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Dean.
You bet. And
Okay.
thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV Live, coming at you, as the name might suggest, live from beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida at MetroConnect 2023. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and with me currently is Mr. Jay Floyd. Jay is the VP of Corporate Strategy and Product at Xtra. Jay, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. So, Jay, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Xtra?
Xtra is one of the largest privately held digital infrastructure companies in the United States. Really, we're out there deploying very, very aggressive networks for our customers. For us, it's a pleasure to be in some of the markets that we're in. We look to enhance those services, in 2023. So really, it's about improving connectivity, creating connections for life. So that's Xtra in a nutshell.
Well, I love it, but not more than I love the next question, because the next question, when I read it initially, I thought of Liam Neeson. He has a very specific skill set, and this question is about your skill set. So why don't you tell us about your unique role at Xtra?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I like to think of the fact that I have the funnest job at Xtra because I get to be creative, really. When we talk about corporate strategy and product development, it's one of those situations where, I'm challenged by our CEO, Rich Coyle, to go out there and find new business opportunities and new ways to create revenue for the company. So it's a great job. I really enjoy it. I have a great team. So for me, I couldn't ask for a better gig, really, to be honest with you.
No, I love that. And I love the fact that you would look at what maybe might be seen as a very kind of corporate or businessy kind of position with that creative eye. So that's a very, very cool position to be in for you. Yeah.
Yes, and indeed. And so, I also get to work with wonderful people. So if I look at our operations team who's out there, out in the field, really deploying fiber networks and in building solutions for our customers, it is a day in and day out a very, very difficult job. So I get to align with them and really see where I need to take the company to the next step. And so for me, that's, once again, it's a really fun job to do, and love working with my teams.
Yeah, I'll bet they love working with you too, Jay. That's very, very cool. But why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what they might be able to expect from Xtra over the next, let's say, 12 to 18 months?
It's exciting times, right? So for us in 2023, we're really looking to capitalize on some of the big wins that we've had in the past. It's all started with AT&T Stadium and the Dallas Cowboys.
I've heard of AT&T and the Dallas Cowboys, so excellent.
Great venue, great organization. We're proud to be a partner of theirs. San Antonio Spurs and their arena, Circuit of the Americas, which is an F1 race in Austin, Texas. But most of all, really executing in 2023 on our biggest win to date. My entire career, I've never been associated with a project so complex and so large and the scale, and that's MGM Resorts, where we've gone in, we've partnered with them, we've replaced all of their legacy networks. We're bringing in new networks that are going to launch this year and go live. That it only benefits their guest experience within these properties. So we're super excited about that. We're working with companies like Google, working with the hyperscalers to advance our technical capabilities and meeting the demands of our customers. So super, super happy about 2023 and what's around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to drop some names, the names that you've dropped are good ones to start with. So that's wonderful. And for our viewers that would like to learn more about Xtra, where should they go?
The new and improved xtranet.com. It's a great website, very intuitive of what we have to offer to our customers and where we're located in those major markets. So come visit us and reach out.
Awesome. Jay, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine, coming to you live on location in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Metro Connect 2023. And I'm here with my new best friend, Mr. Dea Bayumi. Dea, did I get it right?
You got it perfectly, Dean.
Outstanding. Thank you. Dea is the Vice President of Global Product Management at Bloom Energy. Dea, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you, Dean.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So, Dea, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Bloom Energy and about what you do at Bloom?
Great. Bloom is an innovative, purpose-driven company. Our mission is to create sustainable, clean energy and make it affordable to all. So we have non-combustion, solid oxide, fuel cell that generate electricity in a clean, resilient, predictable way using different fuels. So we have natural gas, biogas, hydrogen, trying really to bring electricity to the world in a clean, sustainable way and make it affordable and enjoyable for everyone.
Dea, I love the message already. You are one of only 2 energy companies that I have interviewed over the last day and a half, and I gotta say, this feels like the energy and the power, the energy and the power that we use to power our data centers and overall industry is changing pretty dramatically, and it feels like you guys are kind of on the forefront of doing just that.
Yes, Bloom Energy has been around for 20 years and went public 5 years ago. And really, when you come and see the team, it's purpose-driven, mission-driven, innovative-driven team, trying really to change the world. We're trying to really create abundance of clean energy. Definitely, there is lots of drivers from regulation, from customer needs. But if you look around when we have finally it's behind us, the sad days of COVID, with all the loss of life, economic challenges, people saw blue skies around the globe. People saw clean. People enjoy energy. Energy is a must-have, is not a want anymore. So to clean, sustainable, and clean energy like we are right now, it's really a great mission. Mm-hmm. We enjoy it. We enjoy our customer to see it. Definitely data center is one of the key customers we have. We enjoyed several megawatts of installation of power with data center. We'd like to expand it and continue enjoying this power that drive everything in our backbone and infrastructure, but in a clean, sustainable, and a blue skies and air and everything you can breathe.
Blue skies sounds great to me.
Yes.
To be honest, I'm coming from the Chicagoland area to Fort Lauderdale and seeing the blue sky when there was a blizzard when I left Chicago earlier.
You should move to North Carolina where I live. It's always blue there.
Are you inviting me over? Because I'll come over.
Absolutely. Welcome.
Very good. So, Dea, let's talk a little bit about your partnership with Airtel, another company that JSA knows well. Tell us a little bit about that partnership.
Yes, that's actually our Indian partners and Nextel at their data center side. And this is one of the things where Bloom really excels at. We have a unique platform that we use to generate electricity. And you can see the 3 dimensions we're serving: sustainability, so non-combustion, clean energy; resiliency, so we make sure that the power continues on whenever there is any weather or challenges in the grid. And then third is predictability, which means that we give the customer guaranteed performance, output, and also cost over a period of time.
Okay.
So when we get to this Indian partner, and then they have a data center in a really congested area in Bangalore, a neighborhood named Whitefield. So it is a very heavy residential part. And this is where Bloom really shines. We have lots of residential customers around. You don't want to have noisy generation of power. You don't want to have polluted generation of power, but it's a data center that need the power with resiliency. The infrastructure in India is not that great. So really was really shiny, really delivered to show that it hits all the marks. I want to have power, resilient, predictable, clean in the residential area with no noise, with no quiet. So it was like, this is, you have to do this. That's great.
Yeah. I got to believe that case study isn't an island either. I believe that's something that you can do anywhere, correct?
Yes, and we have been doing it actually across the globe. So initially, our core part, of course, in California, where we have the R&D and manufacturing. We have another facility in Delaware. Our installation goes across the whole United States. Several installations north to east and California first, but we have in South Korea, in Japan. We start moving to Italy now. We have lots of parts that we work around data center in Germany, Ireland, UK. But different installations across the globe, and we're trying to really expand that to the larger scale of how can we make this technology innovation we have affordable, available for everyone to enjoy.
Dea, my next question is going to make a whole lot of sense with all of that context around it. You are participating on a panel
Yes.
tomorrow. Sustainability being a big pillar of that panel. Why don't you give our viewers a little glimpse of what that discussion will be all about tomorrow?
Yeah, I have really great panelists with me, and the discussions around really sustainability and energy resiliency, or in the energy world, we always talk about security versus transition.
Mhm.
And we always want to bring it as the power of and. We can do it all together. So sustainability does not mean that it is a very expensive solution or hard to do solution. We really need to have them all together. We need to have abundance. We need to have the and together. We need to start deploying. It's not an innovation in a lab anymore. It's really something that we deployed at scale for gigawatts of power. So the panel tomorrow, I really invite everyone to come. It's really have a lot of great panelists there, and it'll be a discussion around how we can deploy this faster and how we can get everyone to enjoy it.
I love it. I intend to listen in on that panel tomorrow. So I'm going to ask you now to take out your crystal ball. If you could
Yes.
predict the future, and I believe that you can predict the future, Dea. So if you're going to predict the future, what do you see for Bloom and for the industry, say over the next 12 to 18 months?
12 to 18 months, the future, I will say that I see lots of movement in the market from customers, from regulators, from the governments, from the funding to start moving towards clean solutions. It's not the P&L, the profit and loss that drive the picture anymore. That's part of the equation now,
Yeah.
that we need to have clean, sustainable. So I think in 18 months, we'll have much more deployment of sustainable clean energy. In 5 to 6 years, I hope we have abundance of energy. We shouldn't be talking about shortage of supply of fuel and energy anymore, especially in the United States or Europe or really
Yeah.
developed countries. We really should be looking for how can we enjoy this abundance, and how can we move to further development of innovation of data center and other healthcare and other innovation in computers and everything else. So power shouldn't be a shortage anymore, and it shouldn't be a discussion, is it clean or not? I think there'll be abundance of this clean energy everywhere.
I sure hope you're right. And our Greener Data book and authors sure hope that you're right as well. Dea, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure. And thank you for inviting me. A really, really honor and thrilled about being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for telecom and data center professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming at you live from beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida for Metro Connect 2023. And I am here with my old friend. I always feel bad saying old friend because
Why do you call me old? Because I'm not old enough to be your father, am I?
I don't think quite old enough to be my father. Anyway, my old friend, Mr. Lenny Chessel. Lenny is the chief evangelist at I Am Critical. Lenny, as always, it is great to see you and welcome to JSA TV.
It's so good to be back after a little hiatus.
It feels good to be around even the people who are kind of sneezing a little bit. I'm okay with being around them.
Right before I got here, but I did it right here in the jacket.
So, Lenny, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about I Am Critical?
Well, I am critical of all things, especially your behavior of late. I've been meaning to talk to you about that, but that's another topic for another day.
I knew this is how this was going to
Of
go,
course.
so please.
So I Am Critical is a data center operator, and our first property is right here in South Florida, in Miami, 100,000 square foot data center in Little River. So we took over that property in October of 2021.
Yeah.
And we've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of work there and a lot of excitement around the fact that as a data center, we actually have 5 megawatts of power available, 50,000 square feet of available space. And it puts us in a very unique position to bring new customers in here to South Florida and not to the traditional providers. So we're an alternative, got all the network in the world. It's a wonderful building. I happen to work there 23 years ago.
Tell us about that. Tell us about the building.
The building is an old local serving center, local wire center from AT&T. It's all solid concrete, 14-foot ceilings, 200 pounds per square foot, floor load, 6 megawatts of power, and that's all going to increase. New AC, new power, new UPSs. We're doing a lot of work in the building, so it's very exciting.
I love it. I love it. So, Lenny, there's a lot of stuff coming out of the newsroom at I Am right now, but some big award news. You want to talk about that?
Sure. So the other property is our property up in Pittsburgh, East Pittsburgh, Wilkinsburg at 900 Britton Road. And interestingly enough, without even having completed the site ready and our modular data centers that we're building here in our plant in Fort Lauderdale, 6,000 square foot, 3 megawatt, our first pod for that 6-acre property.
I love it.
We work together with this great marketing firm. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's called JSA. They do some great work.
I have heard of them, and you should hear of them too.
You should. I recommend them highly. I give them 5 stars on Yelp. Anyway, so we submitted an application for Startup Business of the Year, part of the Pittsburgh Technology Council's annual awards, and we won.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to say I was surprised. I was surprised, but we're very proud of that fact.
Yeah.
So we're already getting great recognition for the work that we're doing in Pittsburgh for that campus. The exciting part around that is the high performance compute capabilities that we'll be bringing into that data center, the ability to have very high density, traditional 10 kilowatts per cabinet.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
We'll have 35 kilowatts, we'll have 75 kilowatts, and at some point in the future, be able to handle all the density of supercompute capabilities. So
You just said the word future, and that's what I want to talk about right now.
Sure,
So
I love the future.
As somebody who has been in the industry a hot minute, many hot minutes,
and a few cold ones.
So tell us what you see for the future, and not just as it relates to I Am, but generally speaking, where's this industry going?
So, it's a combined thought that I have, which is continuation of higher density workloads, right? So all AI, all the autonomous activity that's going on, all the 5G work that's going on, all the edge stuff that's going on. So we're in the middle of that, not only on the I Am Critical side, but on the I Am data center side, in the fact that we're able to build out these incredibly efficient modular data centers. So again, the Pittsburgh data center is going to be a showcase for our abilities to handle these higher density loads. In your traditional data centers, what we know as a traditional 70,000, 100,000, 500,000 square foot building, you got to cool the whole building, you got to power the whole building.
Right.
But when you build modularly, and you have the ability to build these tight envelopes in these modular data centers, you're able to have a higher R factor. You're able to use some sustainable technology. You're able to use microgrid technology as it relates to batteries and power. There's a whole lot coming down the pike as it relates to hydrogen power, self-sustainability, solar power.
Yeah.
So we're implementing technologies to not only be able to handle the higher density as it relates to power, cooling, chill door cooling, containment, hot aisle containment, applying 55-degree water at the door of the cabinets.
I love it.
So what you're doing is you're having to not build larger footprints. You're building smaller footprints and being able to cool at the cabinet and not try to cool a whole data center. So we're building this sustainable, capable, high-performance compute environment, and that's the world. That's where the world is going.
I believe it. That does feel like the future to me. We had Bloom Energy on earlier and Cumulus just this morning, both kind of echoing some of the things that you're saying right now. So,
But how could they echo something that I hadn't said yet?
You were echoing their message. No,
That was
we're
my
echoing.
message. They knew I was going to say it. That's what happened.
Did you all get together on this?
No.
At any rate, thank you very much, Lenny. But for our viewers that want to learn a little bit more about IM, where should they go?
They could go to Miami and visit me in my data center.
And
They
you
could
should do that.
Go to Pittsburgh and visit our campus where we're going to be delivering our 10 pods, the 10 modules in April sometime.
Love it.
Or you could go to imcritical.com, imdatacenters.com, or you could just pick up Greener Data and read all about our sustainability in the Greener Data book, where Jennifer von Bismarck has one chapter, as well as our CEO, Michael Work, has a chapter.
And we are going to speak to Michael Rourke very, very soon as well. And I think that's a wrap. Anything else?
Did you try the fish wrap yesterday? It was delicious.
I had the blackened mahi sandwich yesterday, and it was very good. Yeah. It's always great to see you, Lenny.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
You bet. And it's always great for you to be here with us on JSA TV. We will see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for telecom and data center professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming at you live from Metro Connect 2023 in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I am here with Mr. John Denemark. John is the SVP and GM at Newstar. John, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. John, for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about Newstar?
Sure. Well, why don't I introduce myself and Newstar
Do
at
it.
the same time?
Do
we
it all.
Okay,
Do it
all
all.
right.
It's
So
all
as
yours.
you said, I'm the SVP and GM for Carrier Provisioning Division of Newstar, and we're a TransUnion company now.
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a sec. So I live in Northern Virginia.
Mhm.
I've got 2 boys that are at school, so my wife and I are empty nesters. Now for Newstar,
Congratulations.
oh, well, thank you. We're still getting used to it. So for Newstar, Newstar was created back in 1996 to address the portability challenge for the United States and Canada. So one of the main interoperability challenges for the telecom industry back then.
Mhm.
And with our carrier provisioning division, we have continued that focus on interoperability. Say that a couple times in a row. Okay. So whether that's on the numbering or porting sides where we started, or now automating the intercarrier ordering platforms, that's kind of where we're focused. And what we're bringing to market is new and innovative solutions in the space that make the ordering of wholesale network access simpler, automated, easier, better customer experience.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, obviously that comes with its own unique set of challenges. How are you addressing those challenges?
Right. So the main challenges in this space is that there are thousands of carriers, literally both in the US and internationally, that sell network in some way, shape, or form. They sell their network access, right? The last mile, for example, they sell Ethernet, broadband, so internet-based connectivity, a bunch of different products. And there is no real standard out there that standardizes that and makes that simple. And so the carriers that are selling, they have their own little spin on that, right? And the carriers that are buying find that experience difficult. And then that difficult experience then impacts the end user's experience, the enterprises that are the ultimate customers here, right? And so what we do to solve that is we've created something called Universal Order Connect, UOC for short. And it's been called the Swiss Army knife of ordering, right? So we can take care, we solve that challenge because our customers, whether they're on the buy side and they're buying or they're on the sell side that are selling, we simplify this world for them. And we connect the buyers and the sellers in a standardized way that makes that process simple and more automated.
You could not be segueing any better than I could myself. That automation, let's talk about that, because that to me feels like it's probably key to the whole system.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, part of the reason that this is a difficult process is that it is not automated typically, right? That there are standalone legacy systems that don't talk to each other. There's a bunch of swivel chair in between. And what we do with our solution is we kind of solve that problem. We're an API-based solution that you can integrate with your OSS and BSS stacks, and that you can integrate across the ordering platforms. And so then we make those orders flow. And once you do that, you all of a sudden start to see scalability issues go away, resolved, right? You get cost per order down. You get cycle times that are shorter now than they used to be. There are a number of benefits that our customers see that are really transformative to the way that they do business once they implement the solution.
That's, again, great segue. So to me, like, everything that you're talking about ultimately has an impact on how business gets done.
Correct.
Within the industry.
Yeah.
So put on, you can take out your crystal ball and let me know. So in an ideal world, your solution does what for the marketplace?
Oh, well, in an ideal world, we connect the entire ecosystem and we're able to automate that process from front to back. There is some attempts at automation in other ways, and And, you know, sometimes people focus on a task and they want to automate that, right? Well, in a perfect world, honestly, the process end to end is automated. So you can do your serviceability check, you can get your quote, you can turn that into an order. The order is placed. If there's a problem later with that order, you can create a service assurance ticket.
Right.
I mean, it's all, and that's what we provide. We provide that entire functionality that can pull that process together on our customers' behalf.
So well beyond traditional CPQ.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And we've got partners, you know, that we
Yeah.
can bring into the fold. Like we don't do the quoting ourselves,
Uh-huh.
but because we're API based, we can pull that together and make it flow.
I love it. I love it. And thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, no, it was my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time, and I appreciate
of course.
it.
For our viewers that would like to know more about Newstar, where should they go?
Well, they should go to newstar.com. Okay, so
perfect.
let's go there.
Yeah.
Go to our website, look for the communication solutions and carrier provisioning, and we've got a lot of great material out there. And of course, you can email me at any time. And I John.Denemark at team.newstar.
This is a first
NEUSTAR.
for all the interviews. You've got it. You've got it. John, thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you.
You bet. You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine from JSA, and I'm coming to you live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Metro Connect 2023. And I'm here with my longtime friend, Mr. Michael Rourke. Michael is the CEO and founder of I Am Critical and I Am Data Centers. Michael, thank you very much for joining me in this impromptu discussion.
Well, you're quite welcome.
So yes, thank you. And it's an impromptu discussion because we are gonna talk about one thing, one very important thing, and that is ESG, sustainability. What I would like, because Michael is a author, one of the authors of our Greener Data book, and happens to be here on site with me. So we're taking the time and advantage of having you on site to discuss what ESG means to you, what sustainability means to you, and ultimately where the industry is going in this regard. So, Michael, the floor is yours.
Great. Well, I think it's a place the world has to go. We're backed into a corner. And so data centers, we trade in IT infrastructure. So we have one segment of the company that owns and operates data centers, both traditionally built data centers that we've acquired and we're refreshing, and modular data center campuses for which we build our own modular facilities. So I Am Data, the other business segment is we're actually manufacturers of modular data centers. Why modular? After 25 years of building, owning, and operating and engineering and designing data centers, we figured out a better way to sort of reinvent the entire process, thereby making them more sustainable and better suited to ESG initiatives. So what we do is that we took a hard look at it when we set up this company. We set up the company so that there's an automatic carve out of 5% of corporate profits that will go specifically to ESG initiatives.
Yeah.
And which may include VC funding for novel technologies that are addressing squarely the reduction of carbon footprint. And then across all of our processes and products, we try to do things in an ESG-friendly, sustainable manner, in a measurable manner. So where there's real metrics and how much carbon reduction we're actually achieving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things related to our ESG initiatives that are difficult to metric.
If they weren't difficult, it probably weren't worth doing, right?
Well, yeah, and also when you're building a modular facility, the site work consists of the underground work and pouring the slabs, essentially, bringing in the fiber, bringing in the power. But the actual modular construction process is done in a very short period of time. For example, we're about to deploy 10 modules. It's 6,000 square feet, 3 megawatts in Pittsburgh, where we own 6 acres. And the entire process of setting data center modules and commissioning the entire data center will be about a month. So one metric is you've reduced, and it's right up next to a residential neighborhood on one side. So you're reducing noise pollution. We go to an extreme, cutting invasive species down and then turning it into mulch to promote erosion control. And it's all these little things that add up. But I think the main thing is that we're making these data centers uber energy efficient.
Yeah.
And we're reducing the amount of energy it takes to achieve the same workloads, and thereby reducing power consumption. There's a very direct impact on carbon footprint.
Yeah, I love it. So you're doing this. This is real. This isn't lip service. These are things that you are doing right now. I think you and I both know that it's a very buzzy, it's a very en vogue thing to have a sustainability initiative. In your mind, though, what is it going to take for this industry to turn a real corner with regard to sustainability and renewable energy?
We're in Fort Lauderdale, and 20 minutes away, we have a factory. It's about 65,000 square feet. And we're building these things. By building them, I mean we're cutting bulk steel, we're welding, we're doing the entire assembly of every system that's required for a high-tier data center. And we're able to do this less expensively than it is to build a traditional bricks and mortar data center, which is remarkable. So these buildings we're producing have remarkably low PUEs. They're great envelopes, great R factors, and they're more sustainable than bricks and mortar facilities from almost every angle, and they're less expensive. So I don't think that being ESG sensitive, it requires a conscience, but I don't think it requires necessarily spending more.
Yeah.
And I just think it's there's all of these companies are tremendously interested. Most companies have some genuine interest, I would say, in rather than just greenwashing, and
Greenwashing, interesting, yeah.
And giving a nod to ESG and sustainability to really doing something about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. Organizations like iMasons and the infrastructure and the IT infrastructure side and the membership there. Wow, I mean, it's very impressive. These big companies, rather than just greenwashing, they're trying to really do something to move the footprint on carbon footprint and sustainability.
Yeah, and that's why you're here, frankly. I mean, I wanted to kind of give our viewers a little glimpse into somebody who is quite literally putting that, sustainable rubber on the road. So thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Okay.
You
Thank
bet.
you.
And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine at JSA, coming to you live from Metro Connect 2023 in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I am here with Mr. Chad Rodriguez. Chad is the Vice President of Network and Cloud at Stream Data Centers. Chad, welcome to JSA TV.
Oh, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much. And so for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell us a little bit about Stream Data Centers?
Yes, so Stream, we've been in the business. We're actually entering our special 25th year.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
So we've had almost 26 developments across the U.S. We've had anything from land to developing and delivering fully fit out and operated MET facilities. Our current markets are Phoenix, Dallas, Chicago, San Antonio, Houston, Minneapolis. And we're growing at a rampant rate. We're trying to keep up with demand, and it's exciting times right now.
Yeah, there is a lot of demand, and we're hearing a lot about that demand at Metro Connect this week. So that's good. But so let's talk about connectivity, because I know that it's a big deal, right?
Yes.
Connectivity within your data centers and IT empowerment. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about how Stream sees connectivity and ultimately the IT empowerment associated with being connected?
Yeah, no, it's I'm actually a reflection of that in the investment of Stream Data Centers and how critical we see the role that it plays. So I've been in the telecom industry for over 2 decades. So I'm just over 3 years now.
So you look 25 to me, Chad.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So just over 3 years now, and it's conferences like this where you bring in expertise to where I've been on the other side. I've been a part of that network development. Now being on the data center side and having that collaborative conversations as far as what challenges, where's their demand, where do new routes need to be developed. I was having a very cool conversation earlier today with a new low latency route being developed from Veracruz into Mexico City. And so it's having that skill, expertise, and just an information exchange, and ultimately that's going to create the highway for a great end user experience, which is what we're all after. And so it's a great industry. We all work together on the connectivity side, the IT side, as far as the end users, and the data center side.
Yeah, you make an interesting case point for being here at Metro Connect, because business is getting done,
Yes.
and we know that expansion only happens through some of these partners and some of this collaboration, and you're a proof point of that. So very, very cool.
Thank you.
So what do you see as somebody who has been kind of on the outside and on the inside now? What do you see as some of the biggest digital trends within the industry?
I think the pandemic exposed some, workload inefficiencies.
Sure did, yeah.
And that may be, somewhat, overused, but I think
It's nonetheless true.
yeah,
It is true.
it's true, right?
Yeah.
And so, some of the digital infrastructure investments we've seen over the past 18 months, I think will continue. In addition to that, I think, we've talked about edge for forever, and everyone knows you ask a person, you're going to, 10 people, you're going to get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
I think that, historically, those were customer driven sort of use cases, really not a go to market, mass type deployment. I think there's developments I'm pretty bullish on with edge computing and deployments entering into this 2023 in the near term as well.
Yeah, no, I love that you brought that up, because we edge was a very, very like the term du jour,
Right.
It's 10 years ago and really kind of up through today. But when we talk about the edge and getting those workloads as close to the end user as possible, the implications there are pretty dramatic in healthcare and some of these other things, but also getting our data centers to the edge of the energy,
Right.
getting them right there too, because there's efficiencies and sustainability and a lot of implications there as well. So I love that comment. I mean, the edge it couldn't be any more important than it is right now.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah. But lots of things going on over there too, with regard to personnel and your team. I know that big tech is kind of contracting a little bit right now. Stream, that's not happening. What's going on over there? You guys have made some hires and
Oh,
things?
we've been growing. And again, we're entering our 25th year, and it's never been about, a mass full scale. It's been, a very methodical, strategized approach, listening to our customers and meeting that demand. Early on, it was, Fortune 100 enterprise base,
Sure.
which made up 90% of our lease capacity. We've adapted to demand. So really shifted a focus, starting about 5 years in hyperscale and ultimate wholesale focus.
Sure.
And so with that, we've obviously have to build the team to grow that. We've seen a tremendous amount of success, over the past couple of years. And so you've got to build a team to deliver on what you've said you're going to deliver, which is what we pride ourselves on. And, that's making leasing a great experience and
Yeah.
delivering on what we say we're going to deliver, and then being a full service slate deliver as far as developer and operator. So being able to sell land all the way to the fully fit out and MEP operated facilities. So a full slate deliver, and we're really ramping up and just doubling down on that.
Yeah, I mean, if your prediction is to be true, you're going to have the team to get that implemented, right?
Exactly.
So it all makes sense. But you also keyed in, made a very, very nice segue into my next question with regard to kind of your real estate expertise and
Yes.
how that ultimately plays into your current and future successes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. It's that definitely is a differentiator for us. Our parent company, Stream Realty Partners, commercial expertise in real estate, to be able to tap into that level of expertise, being in the same office when we're looking to enter in a new market to see where demand is growing, where it's lacking. We bring that skill and expertise anytime we're doing a deal. Stream Realty is a part of that as far as identifying what the need is and what the best approach that is.
I love it. And Chad, honestly, I saved my favorite question for the very last question. And you just mentioned skill and expertise. Now, you have served in or are serving in the Air Force. I don't know if it's current, but why don't you tell us a little bit, because I see it right now. I don't know what they're doing over there, but it's working. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your service experience and skill and how you bring that to your current position?
Well, thank you. I appreciate you bringing that
to
the attention. And yes, proud Air Force veteran, served my country, and my boss and our newly announced partner was a former Air Force pilot. Just in the industry as a whole and veterans, just the laser focus of attention to detail, the understanding of teamwork concept, one team, having pride in your craft. And so that really relays to day in and day out as far as, being a part of the Stream team and staying committed and prideful as far as what we're going to deliver.
I love it. Chad, thank you very much for being with us. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. This is JSA TV, the newsroom for telecom and data center professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming at you live on location in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Metro Connect 2023. And I am here with my new best friend, Mr. Jeff Greenberg. Jeff is the Chief Marketing Officer at DartPoints. Jeff, welcome to JSA TV.
Well, thanks, Dean. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to finally get to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, but for our viewers that don't already know, why don't you tell them a little bit about DartPoints?
Sure. So, DartPoints, we operate data centers throughout the Southeast, primarily in the Carolinas, as well as the Midwest, Ohio, and Indiana, and in Indiana.
Which is where I live, by the way.
Oh, really?
Northwest Indiana. That's right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're more a little bit farther south. We're
I'll
just south of
come visit.
Indianapolis.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been there.
And so we offer, typical Dart data center offerings and solutions, as well as a lot of security and cloud offerings as well. So we're pretty much a full service provider in the markets that we serve.
Very good, very good. So, Jeff, you've only been at DartPoints approximately 1 year.
That's right. Yep.
To this point. So, why don't you tell us about what most excited you about coming on as CMO at DartPoints?
Well, the opportunity, of course. I mean, there is tremendous opportunity, I think, for DartPoints. We are expecting to grow pretty drastically and aggressively over the coming years, and last year was no exception. We had a really phenomenal 22. A lot of investment in the business last year, whether it was on the product side. We introduced several new products, as well as infrastructure investment. So in our Greenville data center, we spent a lot of money there. Personally, for me, last year was a lot about getting to know the company and what our strengths are, right?
I would expect that, yeah, for sure.
As well as the people, and we've got just a tremendous team. I mean, we really embrace the customer experience and do everything we can to make that exceptional. So those are the big things, as well as obviously the markets that we serve and the needs and challenges that our customers or prospects are facing. So a lot going on last year, a very educational year, much more to learn, of course, but it was a phenomenal year.
So you, I want to say, okay, so you recently made an announcement about a new bare metal and some new bare metal and security solutions.
That's right.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. So, one of our things that we've focused on is, as I mentioned, we rolled out several new products last year, bare metal being one, security being another, and that really helps round out our product portfolio. So we are able to offer infrastructure, security, cloud services, like I mentioned, in these mid-sized markets that we focus on. And we're able to deliver those locally. And historically, those have typically been found really in major markets. So with regard to bare metal, it helps provide a single piece of equipment, essentially. So it's a cloud-like service, but dedicated piece of equipment to an organization where security might be really important. So that's the key reason why we introduced bare metal.
No, I love it. It makes a lot of sense with regard to your product portfolio. But you mentioned a growth season that you've been going through. I suspect that you think that, or that you believe that growth is going to continue.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and make a couple of predictions for us as far as like what the growth looks like for you, what we might be able to expect from DartPoints in the future?
So I will say, just to backtrack a little bit, 22, we had our largest signed sales year ever.
Okay.
And I will predict that we will beat that this year. So
that is a lofty prediction, my friend.
Yeah,
I love it.
But the investments we made last year in the products really sets us up really well for this year. So I think we're going to be able to take advantage of all of that we did last year. So yeah, I do think we'll have even a better year from a signed sales perspective, and then obviously from a revenue perspective as well.
Sure.
So yeah, we should have a really strong year. Everything's looking really up. First quarter looks good. Second quarter, we've got a lot of things in the pipeline. So yeah,
I love it. Yeah, no, and as well you should be. I'm hearing a lot of really, really great things coming from the DartPoints team. So congratulations, number one, on a year at DartPoints. Congratulations on some significant growth, and congratulations on the year that will be 2023.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Excellent. And thanks for being here on JSA TV.
Well, thank you for having me.
You got it. You got it. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon. Is JSA TV, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Dean Perrine of JSA, and we are coming to you live on location in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida at Metro Connect 2023. And I'm here with Mr. Mark Murphy. Mark is the president and CEO of Greenlight Networks. Mark, welcome to JSA TV.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks.
That's what I've been called much
Yes,
worse,
yes,
Mark.
yes,
I promise you on that. But look, I know that approximately a year ago, you had an interview with JSA TV at Metro Connect, and a lot was going on then, and a lot has happened since then. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what's happened to and for Greenlight over the last 12 months?
Sure. And I think one thing in the industry itself, at this show, what's been a lot of fun is to see how much interest there really is in fiber to the home. And so in every panel and everything that I've been to so far today, it's great to see how much attention that we're getting as an industry. But in terms of Greenlight in particular, on June 1st, we closed our transaction with Oak Hill Capital Partners, who acquired us from Tom Golisano's family office, another Oak, but
that's right. I was just like, no, I follow.
Grand Oaks. So we were able to complete that transaction back in June.
Yeah.
And we've been working great with the Oak Hill team, and obviously they know this space, they love this space, and they've been great partners. And we've also announced a number of expansions throughout New York State. So most recently, we announced an expansion in the Hudson Valley to the Wallkill, New York market. But we've also been expanding up into the Capital District and around Albany and Clifton Park, and as well as a number of expansions in and around Buffalo, Binghamton, and Rochester.
I love it. And anytime I hear somebody talk about fiber to the home, I think, well, I have a home and I would sure love fiber to it. And I'm in Northwest Indiana. So if you're looking to expand, you've got at least one customer there.
That's great to know.
I'm sure they'll get
Make
right
sure
on
you
it.
go to our website, place your order so we know where you are, and maybe we'll come find you someday.
Outstanding. And especially because I know that you recently decreased the cost of your 1 and 2 gig internet service. Why don't you explain why you're decreasing services, why you're decreasing the cost of a service that is in such high demand?
I think a lot of it was, one of our core values is community. And we looked at a number of the families in our communities and the issues they're having with price increases everywhere they go, whether it's the grocery store, the gas pump, whatever. And with that, the demand for bandwidth has never been higher. So because we're an all fiber optic network, it's easier for us to scale up and provide more speeds than some of our competitors. And as a team, we made the decision that, we wanted to take those products that were becoming more in demand, specifically our gigabit service and our 2 gigabit service, lower those prices by $25 each. So now you can get a gigabit, synchronous gigabit for $75 in any of our markets. We also, at the same time, we announced a 5 gigabit service to really make sure that, for those customers that really want the fastest available, we're providing that. And actually the demand for that product has certainly exceeded our expectations.
Yeah, wow. I mean, so the short answer to my question is you could do it, so you did.
That's right.
I love it. I absolutely love that. So, okay, so you are currently available in 125,000 homes across 21 municipalities. How might that change, say, in the next year?
Over the next year, we'd like to be somewhere around 200,000 homes passed. We think we've got a pretty good roadmap to get there. And, we've got some really good contractor partners, materials partners. So we think we've got a pretty good path to get there successfully.
Let's talk about materials. I know we're going to go off script just a moment. I mean, supply chain, things like that. Is that an impediment to your expansion, your rollout?
We've been doing this for nearly 12 years now, so I think we've got a pretty good track record and comfort level with our partners, whether it's on the distribution side or on the manufacturers, that we've been able to forecast pretty far ahead. They understand our needs, and they also know that we've been able to deliver. And so I think those relationships that have been forged over a long period of time, where we've got a track record of success and have been doing this for so long, we feel pretty good that we'll continue to be able to meet our forecasts.
I love it. I love it. So predictions, industry predictions. What beyond what you're doing, where do you see things going?
I think there's going to continue to be a significant amount of investment in the space.
Mhm.
I think what we're hearing in terms of some of the joint ventures being formed are interesting to watch with some very large infrastructure funds and partners coming in. So, that's all good stuff. And that's really what we rely on our partners at Oak Hill to help us manage and navigate through. So for us, it's really just making sure that we're building the passings that we want, delivering great customer service. We're proud to say we've got an 85% NPS score, or I'm sorry, an 84 in change. So I've rounded up a little bit.
I would round up
we,
too, of course.
we think that's, really best in class, where most internet providers have negative or low single digit score. So, once we're able to bring a customer onto our network, it's rare that they leave unless they move. And hopefully they're, if they move to Northwest Indiana or Northern Indiana, we can
Come be my
provide
neighbor
service
so we
here
can get
someday.
you over
Yes.
there. So for our viewers that would like to know a little bit more about Greenlight, where should they go?
Greenlightnetworks.com is our website, which has just recently been refreshed and updated with some more functionality, mostly on the back end, but we think there's a nicer front end to that. And we're in the usual social media spots as well.
Outstanding, Mark. Thanks for being here.
Thanks Dean. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you soon.